Good evening. I'm Carlton Hunt. I'm Vice Chair of the CPC, sitting in for Gina, who's on her way back from a trip overseas. She hopefully will join us when she can. Uh, I call in to order at 6:32. Basically, I don't have the stuff to read to you, but because of a variety of things, we're still meeting on Zoom tonight. We weren't sure we would have quorum in person, so therefore we decided to do it hybrid, and that's why it is tonight. In the future, we still will hope to do hybrid. I Not too many announcements. Basically, is to welcome Lori Keene to the from the Concom to our marvelous committee. Thank you for joining,
Thank you for having me.
and we will give you a little time, a couple, 3 or 4 meetings, and then we'll really put you to work.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, thank you. Um, I don't see any public on the screen in front of me, so we'll move that forward. First order of business is to approve the minutes, as hopefully everybody's had a time to look at them and someone could move it. Lori, you don't have to vote. You can abstain since you were not part of it.
Okay.
So do I have a motion?
Hopefully I can
So
speak now.
moved.
Oh, okay. I'll
Bill?
second it.
Thank you, Bill and Maureen. We have to do roll call votes, so all in favor?
Aye.
Oh, we have to do a roll call.
Oh, okay.
Carlton,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Thank you,
Lori.
guys. So talk about the financial report for just a second. This is the April report. We're actually running well ahead of our budget. Lori, if you've seen it, it's called the upper left piece is the revenue budget to actual. Basically, we have a real estate surcharge that we budgeted last year, $900,000, and we've actually received a little bit north of $1 million. So we're about 13% ahead of budget.
Wow.
Just so you know, for a later vote, we typically are very conservative with what we ask for the surcharge budget. And then we have some in arrears type things that come in. Oh, by the way, municipal accounting, it's very interesting because they put positive numbers in parentheses in red. That means we're ahead of, typical accounting is the red would mean you're overrun or that kind of thing. So that's just, we're positive there. We're positive on some it's about $3,000 of in arrears tax income. The state revenue, we were running quite a bit ahead of last year. We proposed 135,000 and we received $167,437 this year. So that was well ahead. And typically the state sends us out in the fall, the percentage, or the spring, the percentage we should calculate. They make an estimate based on the trust funds that come in through the deed fees. And they typically give us a number, and this year they gave us 15.9, I think, and that's how we calculate those things. And that's generally conservative also. Then we have an earnings on investment, which is one of the major 150,000 and change for earnings. And then there's this TRF special revenue. That's actually the grant reimbursement for the Stiles and Hart Park. The way the accounting system works, they have to put it in as a revenue generating, and then at the end of the year, when they close the books, they will put it into the appropriate CPA accounts from which it was taken. Beyond that, the expense to actual basically shows what our original budget was. Then each fiscal year we get a reset budget based on what was still available, and then the actual expenses. For example, admin expenses, we proposed $3,500 to pay for the coalition that we support, and it shows that actuals are 3,500, and so therefore zero. And it goes on and on. Admin expenses, there's still 39,000 of unappropriated funds that we were hoping to use that for a couple things we'll talk about tonight. Beyond that, it's basically all the projects that we're running. Several will be ending. As you may know, we have a couple of bonds that we support. One was for the old Keith House from years ago, and that bond was paid off in 2026, so it's showing zero. That will disappear on the budget that we vote tonight. And then the Academy building has about $240,000 a year that we pay with interest that's been decreasing, but this FY 26, it was $78,600. And then just to go over the CPC reporting unofficial balance sheet, that's basically talking about the buckets that we have reserve accounts in and money we can access. One of the caveats there is the upper thing, fund balance reserve. That's funds that are held as appropriated money already. So it's already been appropriated and it decreases as money's paid out. The other ones are accounts that actually have real money that we can expend. The fund balance for expenses is 320,000. Balance for open space, that's one of the four buckets that we have, is 294. The fund balance for historic preservation is 638. And then the CPA reserve for community housing is 350,000. So that means and then we have an undesignated fund, and what that means is that undesignated fund can be used for any of the buckets that we have. So we use that. In general, we don't touch our reserves that much, but the undesignated, we definitely can use that. The other piece that's not on here is if you look at the amount of money that's said grand total, it's a dollar north of dollar amount that's north of $4 million, but you have to subtract the fund balance that's appropriated to see what we actually have available that we could recommend for projects. And that number is a little bit north of $3 million at this point. But it depends on the project. Some may be 100,000, some may be $1 million. So it just depends on what we're going. All of that said, are there any questions? And anybody else have a question on it? Gina's on board. Welcome, Gina. She must be on her phone. So the financial report, that's where we're at with it. And if anybody has comments, happy to hear them. Otherwise, we'll move on to old business. And what we do on old business is typically we have project updates. We have 8 projects that we're tracking right now that we funded or expect to be funded. So we're going to start with the first parish. We're going to start with the First Parish Church. Gina disappeared.
That's me.
Okay, and that's you, Bill. Thank you.
Yes, yes. I took a look at the windows this week, and there are 2 restored windows that have been installed, and there's 7 windows altogether, I think, and 4 on the west side and 3 on the east side. And the 2 windows that have been installed look absolutely fabulous.
Great.
The other 4 windows, according to Debbie Baumgarten and other people I've talked to, are supposed to be installed by mid-June. So they're hoping this project, because it's absolutely stunning. The window panes were glistening. I don't know how they polished or restored that 19th century glass, but it looked fabulous, and we should be very proud of that.
Bill, I just remind you, make sure that they have some pictures before and after, because when we do the final report, we would like to have those images in that final report.
Right. I made a few photos.
Great.
Yesterday or day before, I think it was.
Thank you very much.
But I will remind them they're going to send some photos once they're all in place. But I will ask about the before photos.
And if some windows haven't been replaced yet, just get them before.
Sorry.
If there's windows that have not been replaced, they can get a picture now.
Right. The windows have been removed and
Oh,
there are pieces of plywood covering the opening of
I
those
see.
windows. Yeah.
So they're at the restoration place.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hmm.
Um, do they know when they expect that to be done? June, July?
Well, they're hoping mid-June, but at the worst case scenario will be the end of June, they say.
Excellent. Wow, the end of the fiscal year. I'm going to move on to the Hanson Farm. We still are working with the trail. The Hansons, we had the ceremony and that went very well, but the Hansons are working really hard on the farm right now, and I think they are trying to get the trail laid out. They have to have it laid out, and then it has to go to the Conservation Commission for approval after it's laid out, and then once and it has to go to the Wildlands Trust. Actually, it has to go to Wildlands Trust first, who hold the conservation restriction. They approve it, and then it comes to the town through the Concom, which is co-holding the restriction for their approval, and then they can move forward with actually installing it. The other piece is we still haven't gotten a good handle on how much material they need to purchase to put the bridge over that really wet area and any other places that they have. So that money will carry over into next fiscal year since it's an appropriation from that it's already basically being held in an account in the bank. Gina, are you there still? And if you want to talk about Styles and Hart, because we could probably spend 30 minutes on it, but we don't want to spend that much time. Okay, let me give you a quick
Okay,
update.
Carlton, I am
Go for it.
here.
Go for
Okay,
it.
I'm just walking through the through the airport. Styles and Hart. Quickly, we did a short walkthrough with the town manager the other day, a couple weeks ago, I guess, to see what needs to be done. We walked the south side, closer to the river behind McDonald's. We're going to next week or at some point walk the whole other side to see what needs to be done. So we want to get the project up and running. We've also asked for it to be surveyed, and Josh might be able to fill in where that stands right now. But we'd like to have the southern end surveyed to see what part that private parcel, where it, like the borders for it, the boundaries, and how far back the private person goes, land goes back. So that's in process, and Josh can, accountant can update on that.
Josh, do you know what's happening with the procurement for the survey?
Yeah, so I did follow up with the zoo just to see if he had any remarks. He said that everything looked good, that we should go ahead and move forward with it. So we just that's just something we have to hold on, let me mute Gina for a second. Um, that way, so that's just something we have to work on and get posted. I think it is going to fall under 50,000, so it's not an RFP but an RFQ. So um,
Well, I hope it's less than that. But that funds can be paid out of the Styles and Hart account that we have money in, right?
um,
It doesn't have to be admin funds.
let me look at what was voted because I can't remember if you guys voted specifically for the survey. Do you?
We voted to have the survey done, but we may have said out of the Styles and Hart project account.
Yeah, and if last I talked to Lori, that's still open and everything. So yeah, uh that should just be something we have to do some quick work on. And then we have the person that has been working with the town for just reviewing the RFQs and everything. So we just get it over to her and then get it out for final review between the officers and get it posted.
That's great. One addition from Gina, Justin and I and Josh and Gina walked down to the Town River Landing where I put forward, and we have had the application that was submitted years ago said that engineering for a bridge going from the Town River Landing into Stiles and Hart was one of the things that they've been thinking about funding. So the project is on hold right now, as everybody knows. We actually have a budget about of money. It's about $780,000 left in that account, counting in the reimbursement, tiny reimbursement we got, 74,000 against lots more that we expected. And that's another story that we can talk about for a long time. But basically, we need to do the survey to put in the accessible trail around the parcel that's landlocked that we have a sewer easement on. And then we have to put in an accessible trail that goes down to the south all the way to the river. And the idea there is to have the accessibility across the river at that bridge and then down to that rail trail in the park. So at some point, we're going to have to really sit down as a group and talk about what we actually want to have, and the Parks and Rec Commission needs to chime in on that. So it's still open, and we've gotten a small reimbursement, but we have about, like I said, $780,000 that we need to rescope and rebid and do all sorts of work. So that's gonna happen over the summer, I think. I hope. Any other questions? Moving on, Gina.
Nope, that was a good recap. Thank you. And I apologize for the noise in the background for me.
Oh, you tourists.
Uh,
Thank you. Thank
okay.
you. Quick update on the Hemlock Drive affordable housing windows. I checked with them yesterday, and basically it's at the same location the last time we met. They have some remaining items that installing shades, painting, patchwork, that kind of thing. They placed an order for circular windows in the common hallways that should be arriving soon. And they're going to provide a final schedule that I asked if they would be done by June, and she wasn't real sure. And the other thing I was concerned about was that our budget that we just went over indicates that there's a lot more money in there than we have already approved for payment. And she did say that she thought that they had received all of their money. So that account has around numbers $39,000 or $40,000 left to finish up the job. So basically that's where they're at, and hopefully that will be done. I'm hoping by the end of June, maybe July at the latest. Next one is Josh, for the Townhouse Interior Historical Architect Assessment. We received 3 quotes? Have we awarded the quotes? The quote. I had sent you information. Bill had.
Yeah, that went to Chris. Sorry, I thought that was on Chris's plate now. He hasn't? Okay.
Can you follow up with that and make sure that we get that done? Because right now,
yeah, so we got Bill's remarks. We got him over to Chris. Chris should have acted on it. And I
Well, here's my concern.
Yeah.
Because it's admin funds, we would have to revote whatever funds were not spent in FY27. And I had really hoped that we would have that done and paid for in FY26. So I'm a little bit concerned about that one.
No, first thing in the morning, I'll message Chris. I'll CC Justin to make sure he's aware, just in case Chris needs any supervisor okay with Azubi. I think Azu's away in South Africa right now, so that I'll rope Justin in and make sure that it gets done immediately.
And copy Gina and I, please.
Yep.
Right, and thank you for checking that, Josh. If we absolutely have to, we can re-vote it at the July meeting. It's not something that's going before the council, so it wouldn't be as big of an issue. Obviously, we would like to have it done this fiscal year, but we can always do it as soon as possible.
Well, and if they can get it awarded and the awardee can come in and work in June, then we use this fiscal year admin fund, and then we would have to revote admin funds next year for that.
Okay. Yeah, and
It's-
in the
it's-
future,
it's-
once I give those things to Chris, similar to the freeze, I just imagine, or I just assume it's moving forward. If you guys feel like you're not getting an update or anything, just ping me real quick and I'll make sure that, you know, things move forward and you guys are getting the proper updates.
We'll fill your inbox. Okay,
Okay,
thank you.
on the freeze, and I apologize for more noise because we're waiting for the bus now. But on the freeze, I think that, and Laurie was going to check, I have to follow up with her. There are funds that we had voted and it was approved by the council to repay the town fund that we used to pay the bill on time. She was going to let me know if she needed something else from me for that, or if it was set. So Josh, if you have time, if you can just ask her that too.
Yep.
Okay, I'm gonna go on mute again because it's too noisy here.
Yeah, there's 13,000 in that account right now. So I thought that had been paid already. Wow. Thanks, Gina. Multifunctional fields. Pat, you might want to explain a little bit about it for our new member and then tell us where it's at if you have information.
All right, so I'll where's my camera? Hold on. So this is the project that we've been working on for a while behind what some people call the old high school, which is the middle school now. The idea is to refurbish a number of fields behind the old high school into multi-purpose fields, grass with irrigation, etc. Working with the rec department. The RFQ or RFP or whatever went out. Carlton, you sent me the bid results. We did get 3 bids. Silver Engineering of Bridgewater was chosen. I've been in communication. I've been on an email with the chair of the Recreation Commission and the grounds, the head of Recreation, Mr. Small, and basically Silver Engineering is ready to go. I guess there was some communication between Mr. Silver and Mr. Small where they decided, hey, maybe we should wait until the kids are out of school to do some engineering. Mark Thomas and I circled back with Mr. Silver, an email went out. That's something that can be done now. We really don't want to delay it. It's basically a day of survey with one guy out there, so it's not a big deal. So there was an email sent out last week. Mr. Small hasn't responded yet. I offered to reach out to the superintendent's office to get some dates where we could go on site. So we're really waiting just to get the engineering started. I believe, Josh, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, it was awarded to Silver. I mean, I believe the contract signed, and it was for around $20,000. I think we appropriated 25. So that's about it.
Yeah. Thank you. Just for Lori's edification, what happened there is there was an application, eligibility form, an application, and we recommended $500,000 for that project, but only $25,000 to be appropriated for the survey work that we just talked about. So once they get that all done, they may have to come back to us for another recommendation and change of budget or whatever. But that's been on progress for what, over a year now?
Yeah, and just to, I don't have the exact figures in front of me, but there were 3 bids received, and Mr. Silva, I think, has done stuff for the CPC in the past, the girls' softball fields and whatnot. So he was far below the other 2 quotes, trying to work with us to get that done for the rec commission. So
thank you. Moving on to the cemetery assessment. This is an admin account project, and I don't know where we're at. We had received 3 quotes. They were very wide range. No, we had gotten 1 quote. I'm mixing projects. We had gotten 1 quote in. It was extremely higher than we thought it should be. And so it's going out for bid. And Josh, what is the status of that bid?
So that's what we had sent over to our third party consultant to review the RFP. So she's just making some edits and then she's sending that back to us so it can get posted.
So once it goes out, it'll be posted, we get bids in, and then what's happened there, we actually made a recommendation to the town council, I think it was 200,000 to assess all 10 town-owned cemeteries for restoration, rehabilitation purposes. Because it came in so high, we really have to go out for bid, and we modified the scope a little bit to reduce the cost, that kind of thing. But it is something that's before the council. It's in a council committee right now. So once we get the bids in, we can start to move it forward again.
Yeah, it's just a little bit delayed, just because it is such a specialized bid process because of the industry that it is. So she just
Yeah.
wants to make sure that it's as specific as possible.
Thank you again. The Parthenon Freeze project is mine in the Academy building. We're still waiting. I'm still waiting for a final quote and a final design for the storyboard that we're going to put in to describe the 6 freeze casts that we installed in the Academy building last fall. I've talked with John at the Bridgewater Trophy, and he is flat out, as they say. It's their max season right now with all the sports events and the school graduations. So I'm hoping that we will get that freeze cast. And this is a project, so this all will carry over. I'm hoping to get that done and very soon so we can get that finished up this summer. And that's it. So moving on to project updates, final steps. I don't know if Gina wants to mention it, but the first one here is the Broad Street properties. That's the old mobile station in town. No, I get the two mixed up. The Broad Street properties is 2 parcels that we acquired with a friendly taking for the Stiles and Hart Park. And that taking needed to have a conservation restriction on it. So Wildlands Trust held a conservation restriction on 5 acres that we'd purchased by CPA funds several years ago. So Wildlands Trust has been working to merge the 2 parcels, 2 areas into one CR, and he had asked, and the state had asked for some information from the town as to control of the property. And I guess I'm going to have to ask Josh again. Have you gotten any updates from the town on those 2 questions?
Yeah, so I actually connected Scott McFadden with our town attorney. He's been going over everything with Jason. They had an email a couple days ago. I think it's almost all set. Scott just had a couple more clarifications. Hold on, let me just see if I can pull it up. Yeah, Scott just had sent 2 more questions to Jason asking about the parking area issue.
Okay.
So that Scott's essentially just waiting for Jason to get back to him on that. But they've been going back and forth for a week or so now.
That's good to hear that there's progress on that. Hopefully it'll get done. It kind of connects to the Stiles and Hart property and all that kind of thing. But to remind everybody, anytime you use CPA funds for open space acquisition, historic preservation, deed restrictions have to be put on those properties. And that's what Wildlands Trust working on right now. Now to the Summer Street property. That particular piece is the old mobile station, and CPA put up about 2/3 of the cost for that. Because of that, a conservation restriction is required. We have a final report that's waiting for the CR to be finalized and the deed book and page included. Right now, the Bridgewater Improvement, I'm a member of the Bridgewater Improvement, full disclosure. Bridgewater Improvement Association has by charter the ability to hold deed restrictions, and a town cannot hold a deed restriction on their own property. It has to be a third party. So the BIA voted to hold that restriction. And the last I heard, that was going to go over to the town attorney for development. And I haven't heard if he's had any ability to work on it. Josh?
Moving either on that. I wasn't sure if that was something that was going between Jason and BIA. But I can have Justin request that Jason give us an update on that.
Yeah, I think I had a conversation. I don't know if it was Jason or Justin, but it was clearly back in September. We'd had a conversation with the now leaving economic development director, and he said he was going to give it to the town attorney to work on the CR for that piece of property. So I think it's probably in Justin's hands now.
Yeah, I think that was what we had left on. It was when we did the walkthrough that Justin was going to direct Jason to get that taken care of. I haven't had an update on that, but I will ask for that.
Yeah, I put it on your to-do list. Any questions on any of these projects from the committee?
What's planned for the property by
The
the mobile
Summer
station?
Street property?
Right.
Yeah, and actually, I forgot to tell you, if nobody's been by it, they're actually excavating and doing all sorts of work. The work is primarily the building will stay, and what they're doing is making it landscaping it, the quote unquote the project, and they have $500,000 from the state,
Oh, wow.
435 or something. So that grant is paying for the landscaping. So they're going to take up all the concrete and the asphalt, that kind of stuff, and then put grass in. And I think they're going to put some planters along the street. And
Oh,
then
nice.
they're also the drainage, the slope of the property is such that they have to do better drainage for the
Mhm.
property. So that's what the construction is going on there. When that's done, it is an official public park.
Oh,
Chapter
nice.
90, it's designated as a public park right now. And they had to have that designation in order to get the grant money, and the grant's paying for this work right now. And again, BIA, that I'm a member of, we're trying to put an accessible park walkway in the park that's very pretty there, right to the Plymouth side of the corner there.
Mhm.
That's owned by Bridgewater Improvement Association, and we're putting a walkway that's accessible with raised beds for to smell the plants and
Nice.
and attract bees, that kind of stuff. So we're doing that right now ourselves. That interface between the two parks is something that we're working on jointly a little bit with the town and what we're going to do, because we have to put some fill in order to make the slope 5% or less getting into the park. But that's why if you go by there, you'll see some orange stakes in there. That's the staked out pathway that we will have. And BI has money to put that parkway in. They probably don't have to come to CPC for it, even though they might be eligible. But we have funds that will pay for that.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, it's good that you're here because we can update everybody. Okay, now we're moving on to potential projects. One of the things we do here is track what we have heard about projects. I'm going to actually scratch number 2, restoration of fire department Asamaquin hand pump, because we actually have an eligibility form that we need to consider tonight. So Pat, what have you learned about the Jenny Leonard Park and the accessibility and everything there, the complete streets acceptance? Do you know?
Last I heard, Carlton, it was between and Josh or yeah, one of you.
Well,
might be able to,
I was talking to myself. I didn't unmute, but
Yeah, no, that's okay.
so it appears it's moving forward, Shane. One of the sticking points was that there was a catch basin on the property. Attorney Castanetti, who represents Longville Homes, submitted a draft plan to Shane O'Brien, the town planner. He sent it to me. It looks pretty good. So it looks like it'll be coming to the planning board to break that drainage structure off, and then the town can accept the land. So it looks like they're moving forward to accept that without the drainage structure.
Great, thanks, Pat.
And we only monitored it as a potential project because the Jenny Leonard Park was an old playground, and the developer there that developed that housing area actually cleaned the Jenny Leonard Park, got rid of all this decaying materials, et cetera. But we want to be able to, I think the Parks and Rec Commission and others would like to have, and they installed a small parking lot there. So we're hoping to be able to get up into that playground and maybe upgrade it, restore it, regenerate it, that kind of thing. So that's just one of the why we're tracking this one. The other one that's here, number 3, playground accessibility. We have gotten word from the Disabilities Commission that they're interested in accessing CPA funds to actually make the playground, a couple, maybe 1 or 2 or 3 playgrounds more accessible, better for kids with disabilities and for actually people that like myself, I trip sometimes, so we can walk on that type of surface better. So that's something we haven't heard. Same thing going on with the Legion Field. There's maybe Gina knows this one, the track at Legion Field. I don't know if anybody's really pursuing that.
I think it'll be eventually pursued right now with the start of the season starting up, getting the fields ready for all the, well, we're past the spring sports now, but summer sports. But it is something that we're definitely, Parks and Rec is looking at.
Okay. And the senior center, I've been talking with the director there. That has long been a thought, and there was some work done to put a trail where seniors can walk and sit, enjoy the birds at the foliage, whatever, but also have some exercise locations. And CPA funds can cover that. So we've been talking about that. I think it's going to have to be engineered down the road, but we still haven't received anything more on that. It's just something that we track. I don't know if there's any other ones that people know about. If so, you can just email them to Gina and I and Josh, and we'll put it on the agenda for next time. So those are hopefuls, possibilities. Now to the votes. We have an eligibility form that we received, and it's for the no, I'm ahead of my game here. We had redone and used the web design people to put together an eligibility form application. We showed it 2 months ago, and tonight we need just a vote to accept that form that's online now. It's much more friendly, much better. It's been test driven by a couple of people that we'll talk about under item new business. And so I just want to have a vote to approve that revised eligibility form. Do I hear a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion to accept.
Or approve? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. For the eligibility form, yeah.
Anybody want to second it?
Second. I'll
Thank
second
you.
it.
Thank you very much. We've got a voice. Any further discussion with respect to that particular form? If not, roll call vote, please.
Gina? Gina, you're muted.
She's
I'm sorry, yes.
Okay, Carlton?
yes.
Maureen?
Yes.
Bill?
Yes.
Pat?
Yes.
Lori?
Yes.
Thank
you,
you. The
guys.
motion was approved.
Thank you very much. We're doing the same thing with the application, but Josh, I've lost track of where we are with that one. You're not ready to show it tonight, right?
Nope. So we made some edits at the last officers meeting. It wasn't an officers meeting. It was a meeting specifically for the application. So we've made some revisions, sent them into IT. They're working on that, and we should actually have that ready for next month for a vote.
Thank you.
Because that
very
one was a
much.
little bit more in depth. There's some linking that we have to do. There's some pictures or some charts that we need to embed, things like that.
Great. That's super. Thank you. CPC membership vacancies. Thank you, Lori, for stepping up again. We really appreciate it. The Housing Authority, Gina, have you gotten anything from the Housing Authority?
Nothing at all. And I think when we had met with Josh, he was going to, and Josh, correct me if I'm wrong, you were going to have a meeting, or there was going to be a meeting with Colleen Doherty, and you were going to bring up them assigning someone to, or I guess maybe you were going to a housing authority meeting and was going to bring it up.
No,
But
they had so they are trying to get somebody through the interview process
Okay,
for the Advisory Committee. She didn't show up for her interview. I think it was Susan, I believe.
Lindsay Kiss, correct.
Yes. Yeah, so I was going to let her know at that point that, she was being put forth as the CPC rep as well. But she didn't attend the Citizens Advisory Committee interview. So we're in the process of getting her rescheduled for the June interview.
Okay, great. I know her, so I can follow up with her too.
Okay.
Well, at least
Okay.
it's moving forward. Thank you.
Right,
And I just wanted to update on the second citizen at large. The council voted the last meeting to approve removing the Affordable Housing Trust representative because the Affordable Housing Trust is basically non-existent, defunct. It's just on the books. And replace that person with a second citizen at large. That vote has taken place. So at this point, it's going to be up. I guess, Josh, you're going to have to help them advertise for a citizen.
Yeah, we're just waiting for that to get approved, and then I will begin advertising for at large.
Yeah, I think anything like that has to wait 30 days, something like that. But we're looking forward to that being done. But I wanted everybody to know at least that the town council approved the change in the admin code.
yep. Josh,
Yeah.
do you need anything from me to start that process to advertise?
Nope. I'll
Okay.
just advertise on Facebook. We for the town manager's operational update, we also advertise in there. And we'll make sure that the website is updated to show that the vacancy is now at large.
Great, thank you.
Great, good talk. New business, the FY 27 budget. Has everybody had a chance to look at it? Please, I hope you have.
I did, Calvin. My quick question was, I assume that we're doing 10% into each bucket, and then the rest will go into undesignated as we have in the past.
Right, we're the Lori Guarini, the town finance director, estimated 950,000. That's up a little bit from last year. It's about 15% less than we typically get, but it's conservative. And then the state match, the 15% I spoke about earlier, the match there calculates out to be 147,250. So that would be our revenue side of 1,907. I'll get it right. A little over 9 million. And then we take 10% and take 10% of that 1.09 million. 10% is 109,725 into each of the required buckets. That's 10%. And in the administrative account, which we can go no higher than 5%, but we always pick 5. There's 2 items there. The one's the payroll expenses, and the other's purchase services and administrative expenses. And that's the elements of there. But the amount of money is $54,862.50 for our total budget for next year. And we also include the Academy building debt service, 240 versus 240,000 principal, 71,400 interest. And then we have what's called budgetary reserves. When you add up all the income and you do all the 10% and the add-ons, and we count the Academy building bond, etc., we're left with $401,812 that we put into budgetary reserves. when we do that, that enables the town to access that because it goes into a special account because we're basically anticipating the revenue that would cover that cost. So the total use of funds is $1,097,250, and it's a balanced budget. We need to vote it tonight because the town council meets next Tuesday night, and then they do first reading. 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, they do the second reading. The second reading will officially accept our recommendation, hopefully, and then Lori will do her work when she closes the books, and we will get a new budget for next year. But in order to meet those town council requirements, we must vote that tonight.
Okay,
So
Calvin, oops, I'm sorry. I don't
No, go
mean
ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you. One thing
No
I
problem.
would like to add, and thank you for explaining that very well, is that the payroll is to pick up Josh's hours. With the new town manager, his responsibilities have changed a lot, and he has great access through the town manager's office and other town departments, finance, IT, to get things done. So I think it's invaluable for us to have Josh's support for the extra hours. And last year it was 5 hours a week. This year, Laurie Greeny has averaged out what he's other months. So we put in for 2 hours a week for this. So I think having Josh, even for those couple extra hours and all the work he does during the day too, his regular hours, I think is invaluable to us on the CPC. And the reason it's listed as a separate, like administrative funds, then it has the second line. It's because if it's on a separate line, they can better track like benefits and everything that goes along to a payroll. So that's why it's listed as 2 lines.
Thank you.
Okay.
A motion to recommend to the council?
So moved.
In a
So
second?
Moved.
I'll make a second.
Thank you. It's
So
been a
Right.
motion.
Just for discussion, Calvin, is that, when I looked at the budget earlier, is that what the $39,000 was?
39. Yeah, that was an early budget and that could be last year's budget. If you're looking at FY27, it was in our packet.
Yeah.
Um,
I
That's
thought,
what
I looked at it, I went through it earlier, I thought it said 39,000.
Well, the one I have in front of me is what I just read, so. But so the bottom line,
For Josh's position, we're allocating 39,000, or is that what we did?
no. We're allocating 104 hours over the whole year
All right, so what
at a charge out rate that is
so
there
it's only 104 hours we're paying for.
yeah, that's all.
Right.
Okay, what was the 39,000? So administrative is when we spend money on
Yeah,
other things, right?
we will have to vote next year to fund the coalition, and typically they give us an invoice every year, and that will be something on the order of $3,500. And everything else after that's available for due diligence and other project
right.
information.
I didn't know if that 39,000 went back to the town manager's office. Just a piece of that does.
No money, no funds that we don't spend in any of our accounts and they're closed properly come back to the CPA accounts. They do not go to the town manager at all.
Correct. And Pat, for Josh's hours, it's not an automatic payment. He submits to me what he does to make up those hours, and then I submit it to finance
So
to pay him.
my question was answered. Basically, we're paying a rate for 104 hours. That's it.
Correct.
Great. Thank you.
Correct. Can I just ask if there's no more discussion that we jump on to a vote because my battery is going dead? And if I plug in my external charger, I can't have the earphones in.
Okay, so, Josh, roll call vote. Thanks for the discussion, guys.
Gina,
Yes.
Carlton,
Yes?
Maureen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Okay, moving on quickly, new business. We did the budget, eligibility forms. We have two eligibility forms, and I'd like to take the library renovations first. If Josh, I don't have, you can show that little table I put together. They're requesting money for, and it's the library has a grant from the state under the Green Communities for around 74, 85,000. But that's not enough to cover the entirety of some of the restoration work, rehabilitation work. So what they did was send in an eligibility form to see if they can access funds from CPA. And the easiest way for me to talk about it is for Josh to show that table.
Yep. Give me
If
just
you
a
have it.
second. Yep.
And Gina, if you lose this, I'm sure you will vote yes in the future, but I don't know if we can do it before the motion.
I would vote yes for, I don't, it wouldn't count, but I do give my support for both of the eligibility forms.
Okay.
The library, what you're discussing, and the firefighters.
All right. So it's
Okay.
showing up on the screen now. They had asked for one, two, three, four, five things. Carpets, more support for the windows replacement, ADA railings that's on the interior, ADA walkways to restore those. ADA type things are completely eligible for historic buildings, and the library is in fact listed in the state registry as a historic building, even though it was only built in 1972. That makes it historic. So when I look at this thing, I suggested that the carpets were not eligible. That was a very major cost, 25,000. But I think carpet is not historic and it's not ADA. So, and it's up to this committee to decide that. But my personal recommendation is that the carpets be taken out of that as ineligible. The windows they're looking for, let's see, the budget money they're looking for. The other funds is the grant money that they got for the windows before, so that reduces the cost to us. The total cost since the Green Communities money was 178,948. Taking off the ineligible, it goes to 153,948. So that's the cost that they would be applying for in the application. We're only to vote tonight for the eligibility so they can apply for the money. That's the motion would be vote items 9229 through 9285 as eligible. The 6 external columns are particularly critical. I'm sure I stumbled all over that one, but anybody have questions?
The 6 exterior columns, I know they're very large, but 68,000 seems like a lot of money for those. Are they made of wood or composite material or what? Do we know what
As far as I know, I've been on there and I think they're wood because they were built in 1972. I'm not sure if they're encasing a steel girder. I'm just not sure about
they
that.
are all wood, Carlton. You can drive by and see all the rot on the bottom. I mean, at least the bottom is all wood.
I can also share the pictures that were in the capital plan if that helps.
So,
That would be great.
I was going to make a different comment than Mr.
Go
Smith.
ahead.
I was going to say those columns are huge. I mean, 68,000 seems low, but I believe they have a quote, right?
Well, they had an engineering company come in and look at everything. So everything is based on a report that was provided from that engineering company. So, I hear what you're saying, but it's like, I don't know if they just cut it and then restore the bottom. how do you restore? I don't think they're going to replace the whole thing. I think they just have to address the lower parts that are decaying so badly. But it is what it is right now. We can send it back with questions to them as to how much of those columns would be replaced or restored, I should
Carlton,
say.
sorry to interrupt. I have it on the screen.
Yeah,
It does indicate that it's a replacement, and that they're going to be new columns.
okay. So that's the estimate they got from their engineers. So I think it's because it's historical, they're eligible. But I'm one of 7 of us. Thanks, Josh. Anybody else have more questions,
Well,
comments,
I,
concerns?
well, it's my understanding that people use composite materials now rather than wood. Of course, they're going to have to come before us too, to the Historic District Commission
Absolutely.
to talk about the replacement and so forth. I mean, if they use wood, which is preferable, it will rot again. I mean, when you think about columns on the Parthenon, they're made of stone. And composite material is kind of the modern day equivalent. Anyway, that's just a thought.
No, I think it's an
it-
excellent thought. I think this kind of thought needs to be sent to the library. If we vote this eligible, then they need to have an application that is more descriptive and full in terms of what they're.
If I may, I also agree that there's got to be something different put down, at least on the bottom section, because it's always going to be exposed to the weather. So is there something different they can put down there so it doesn't rot? And I'm not sure what, because I'm not a builder, but there must be something else that can be done.
And I will say that because it's eligible for historic preservation, they'll have to follow the national guidelines on that, which
Sure.
I don't know, but Bill's committee will dig into that, I think.
Do they have to
we
be
will.
exactly what is there now? Or can they make stone bottoms or something so it doesn't rot?
It doesn't have to be exactly the same. I mean, this is not really an historic building. I mean, it's a 20th century building. Did you say 1972, Carlton?
Yes.
Correct,
Yeah.
but it is eligible.
Yeah, it is eligible. And I mean, it's obviously a reproduction of a kind of a Greek revival building with the Palladian windows and the Doric columns. But it's not historic in the same way that the Academy building and the townhouse are.
Correct, but I think the Historic Commission defines historic for our purposes 50 years old.
Yeah. Okay, well, that's an interesting conversation. We have former library trustees on the Historic District Commission, so I'm sure they'll have views about this.
Well, I would suggest that since we're suggesting it's eligible, if we vote that, then you have a meeting and discuss that project because the windows are also part of that, unless they're on the more recent edition. So they may need a certificate of appropriateness.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
True.
So moving on, Gina's still here with us. Any further discussion? We do have a motion, right?
No, but I don't think there is a motion yet.
Could I have a motion to recommend that the items we've spoken are eligible?
I'll motion that the items on the library eligibility form are eligible
As discussed?
as discussed. Thank you.
A second?
I'll second it.
I'll second. Yep.
Good.
I'll jump in.
Josh, roll call, any further discussion? Roll call vote,
Yeah,
please.
Carlton, I'll just say that we clearly state that number of 153 or whatever it is.
Yes, yeah, we'll include each of the what numbers that we consider eligible.
So we're saying everything's eligible minus the grant, minus the 25,000. That's where you came up with the 153, correct?
Right, the carpets are not eligible. Thank you for the clarification.
I think that
Okay,
when I looked at the form last week, I think we just need to revise the chart a little because I thought it was a little confusing, but all the figures added up. So we just have to look at how we put the chart with costs in there.
we do not, in an eligibility, we do not have to include the cost. They just provided that as a ballpark.
Correct. Correct.
Their application has to have final cost in it. So this is strictly you're eligible, and we're not going to talk about the amount of money in that. It's my understanding.
Okay.
It's just, are they eligible? Now you can apply for
Right.
funds.
Correct.
Good. Now can we do roll call?
Gina,
Yes.
Carlton,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
Lori.
Yes.
Thank you. The motion was approved.
Moving on. Thank you very much. The next one is the restoration of the fire department Asamakon hand pump. And Josh does have pictures for that one. And this again, it's just an eligibility determination. And their eligibility came in. There was a lot of communications, and if you want to break down what it could cost, I have that number, but basically this is just the eligibility. And I think I should give you the ballpark number that we're talking about so you have it in our minds. Everybody knows what the apparatus is. I call it the Osamakon. Their apparatus calls it the vintage vehicle restoration, Osamakon restoration. So they have that. And the costs include getting the device down into Pennsylvania where they got the quotes from, and some other things. And they're also looking for some pictures to be funded, restoration to be funded. Okay, now we can look at the fire apparatus. While you pull it up, Josh, I'm just going to say it's because it's such a large file. There are many pictures in there that they went in and they used, and they had this restoration company, which is unique in the country, to give them estimates and what they would do. There's a whole list of exactly how they will do it.
Yeah, and what we can do with that is similar to what we did with the larger files that we tried to distribute before. We can get it like a SharePoint for everybody because there's just too many pictures to like. It's taken a minute for my computer to even load up the.
Wow. If you have slow interconnect like I have in my house.
Yeah, I think so. Because it is not loading very quickly here. Since
And David Moore had looked at it and had several discussions. It looks like it's about there.
that's that's just a breakout, but it's not letting me open the pictures here.
Well, while you're working on it, basically what they communicated, I'm copied on. The goal is a complete restoration to the original factory specification. The proposed scope of work includes complete disassembly, fabrication, replacement of degraded components by skilled craftsmen, the leather tooling, wood components, metal bolts, rivets, straps, wheel restoration, brass restoration, recreation rest of the original toolbox, recreation of suction pipes, restoration of push rails, with original wood replacing later galvanized pipe modification, complete paint removal, application of original Hunman factory paint colors, gold leaf detailing, and any necessary work to return the apparatus to its authentic factory condition. They're asking for an eligibility determination on that. That fire apparatus is actually quite old. It's an 1800, mid 18, late 1800s. The fire department used to manually pull it at the 4th of July parade. The plan is once it's restored, they would put it on a trailer and have it in the 4th of July parade. And that would probably be a year from now. Is it coming up?
It kind of crashed my computer a little bit, so I'm trying to figure out what happened.
Well, if it comes up, let's go. Based on what I've read and the age of the feast, the picture, I will give you the cost. The cost of the restoration of the Osamoquin fire wagon is about, total cost is about 123,000. And the pictures that are 15 pictures that they want to have restored.
Carlton,
Northeast.
I thought in the packet today it said 183,000.
Well, I'm going to give you the rest of it. The pictures that they want restored, NEDC has given them a quote of 57,250 to restore some historic images that were hanging in the old fire station, and they're going to be fully restored and framed and properly done. So it's basically the conservation and restoration treatment is what Northeast Document Conservation would do for and the fire department actually sent those pictures up to Northeast for the analysis of cost.
How many pictures are there?
I think there's 15. And I know it's costly, but it's rare that we can actually preserve pictures that may go back into the late 1800s. I just have never seen the pictures. I don't have any idea of exactly what they are. I just know that they're supposedly very historic. And the application would be required to describe in detail what these are, maybe include pictures of the pictures. Any luck, Josh?
No, and I'm trying to figure out why it's doing this. Because I had him up earlier, and then
Did they get any other quotes for the restoration of the?
They actually didn't, because there's no one else. There is another company that
Photographs?
may
Because
do it, but
I know.
not to the original condition. So that's the quote they got from this particular firm down in Pennsylvania.
No. I mean the pictures. The pictures.
Oh,
Yeah.
Ask your question again, please.
The this outfit that's in Andover, right? The
Yes,
Northeast.
they
And
did
they the book for us.
correct. They've
Yeah.
done a number of things for the town.
Yeah. I've dealt with them before, and they are really expensive. They're the most expensive. It'd be advisable for them to get some other quotes. I mean, we've
Well,
had photographs and lithographs restored and foxing removed and so forth and so on by a small company on Charles Street. The owner works at Harvard in the maps department, and she restores. She's Skinner's had recommended her to us, and I mean, she was not inexpensive by any means, but certainly not nearly as expensive as the North Andover group. I mean,
I
are we
hear you.
voting for?
We're only voting eligibility, not
Oh,
cost.
okay.
But I also had they were asking. I think they asked me, where do we go to get this? And I said, talk with I forget what his name is at the college. He's the head of the
Kingsley, yeah.
Not Kingsley. It's another professor. He was an art restorer, I'm sorry, I just can't remember his name. But they contacted him and he recommended Northeast. But we can also say in the eligibility form, please get more quotes, other quotes.
I mean, that sounds, I mean, that's quite a bit of money,
Yep.
57,000. I mean, I had a large lithograph restored and reframed, and it was 3,000,
Mhm.
which I thought was a lot, but um, 57,000 is, and it depends on, the size of these photos and the
Yeah.
condition of them and so forth.
And
Framing is expensive.
we can provide all those details Josh can send those emails out and for you guys to look at, and they should be that all information should be included in an application should we deem it eligible.
Yeah.
Any further questions about they have two tasks in there. That's why that's 183,000 and change. Any questions? Otherwise, motion to recommend eligibility of the two tasks. No motion?
I'll make that motion.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any further discussion? Josh, a roll call vote on the motion to deem the two fire department eligibility tasks. Go ahead, Josh.
Okay. Gina,
Yes.
Carlton,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Bill,
Yes.
Pat,
Yes.
thank you. Lori,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved.
Thank you, guys. We'll get that done. We'll send out the notice to the departments. Townhouse match multicultural grant if town is the recipient. We've talked about this in the past. Councilor Ellenberg had requested the town, and Josh wrote a grant for the townhouse. I'm going to call it electrical mechanical type things. It's a cultural grant that's for $8,000 with a required match of $8,000 that the town has been awarded the grant. And I've seen a letter to that effect, but the question here is whether or not we want to vote before the town council accepts the grant or wait until our June meeting to vote for that. And I think we probably should wait for I think the town, Josh, help me out. I think the town manager might have sent the request for the match, and this would not be a project account. We could fund this through our administrative account since it's due diligence.
Yeah, he did send a letter. I can put it on the screen if you guys would like.
Gina, you want to
Yep,
do that?
I'm still here, and we did get the letter from Justin requesting the match. So we have the two options, as you said, to wait until the council approves or just vote now, where we have Justin's letter.
If you see that, what I would suggest is a motion to use administrative funds to cover the match for that grant contingent upon the council accepting the grant.
Yes, I agree with that. I can make the motion for that, seeing as I'm not
So,
cheering. Go ahead, Josh.
Sorry, just as a heads up, I don't think so. We got the notification that we were getting awarded, but the information hasn't come out yet.
It
So
hasn't. You do not have an official letter, right?
Right,
From the
and that
state.
won't. And the state has said that it won't be until the end of June that that information goes out.
I'm going to suggest thank you. I'm going to suggest we postpone any votes on this until the June meeting.
I agree. And I'm going to sign off now because I have 1% left, but thank you so much, Larry. Welcome to the meeting.
Thank you,
Um,
Gina.
Maureen, thanks,
Yes.
everybody. Thanks for being here, and Calvin for running a good meeting. Okay,
Thank you. You're welcome.
okay, talk to you.
Safe-
Bye-bye.
Safe busing.
Yep.
Next thing is anybody want to bring anything else up at the meeting? We always have that. If not, let's move on to liaison reports. And to be honest with you, right now, I think the liaison, we've talked about almost everything we need. So if there's anything new that you want to convey. Oh, we're welcoming Janet, it appears to be Hanson, that she's joined on her iPad. Janet, we're just about finished with our business, but thank you for joining. So let's go forward to any upcoming events. I'm not aware of any events that are happening that are relevant to us. And I would go on, unless somebody else has something they can mention. Public comment, anybody? Janet, do you have anything to say? I know you joined us late.
No, oh, well, I joined you late by 10 minutes because when I checked the meeting was hybrid. So I went all the way down to the town
Oh, no.
thing and it was locked. So I had to come back. And I didn't see, once you look at an agenda, and it was even last night, once you look at an agenda, you're not going to look again. So,
Yeah.
but I was able to join. I got late that way, but I've been on right along.
Okay, well, thank you
so-
for joining, and I apologize. We had to
Yeah.
make that decision at the last minute because we
Yeah.
weren't sure we would have quorum in the townhouse, or I mean, the Academy building.
Yeah, that's okay. The only comment I was having, it would be nice to see that fire pump or truck or whatever it's called and pictures restored. But my one question, I don't know if you guys can answer, and it's a little ways, but who's going to be in charge for the mobile station? Who's going to be in charge or responsible for the upkeep of it, mowing and stuff like that? Is it the town who has no money, or is it the college? Because it seems like the college has something to do with it, but I don't think they should. But and also I heard some saying that there was going to be a bathroom, and if that's the case, I think that's the biggest mistake is to have a restroom there, because that's definitely going to be a mess. And who's going to be responsible for that? Do you guys know who's responsible for the upkeep?
Well, the upkeep will be the town because the town owns it. The town has a landscape company that they hire
Uh-huh.
to do, and so I would assume they would add that to that job. As to the building will not come down because there are plans for
Right.
it. They just don't
Right.
have funds. And
Right.
part of those fans would be to have restrooms, an accessible restroom for people that are sitting there and enjoying whatever. But
Mm.
that's a to be determined actually action. That's my understanding. And I
Mm.
only know this because BIA has been working fairly closely with the town, and the university had said that they would provide some level of funding for that quote unquote park. I
Mm.
think everybody also should be aware, if you're not, that the town got a complete streets grant to redo the intersection coming out of the college that comes into that Floyd T. Little Park and also to the former filling station park. They call it Summer Street Park. So that street's going to be redone in
Yeah.
the future.
So
And they're
I know
actually
about
engineering that.
Yeah, I know about that, and we all have. When I say we all, a lot of us question. We got that grant, and that's the location they decide to fix, where we have much more bad areas. And I've seen that there's nothing wrong with that intersection. I've talked to others. We don't see what the grant goes to that intersection compared to other intersections. So, but I can't stop that. But I have questions on that, and it has nothing to do with you guys. But I just wanted to know if the town had the money to upkeep it. And I really, truly, as much as sometimes I need a bathroom, I truly hope that they don't, because that is just going to create a mess. That's all I can see. I've seen bathrooms. I think we've all seen bathrooms. And who's going to, supervise it? And then somebody's going to be responsible to keep it locked at a certain time, I would hope. So those are things which nothing necessarily to do with you guys, but those are concerns that I have.
And they're all legitimate concerns, but I will address a couple of things because I've had lots of communication. One of the reasons that intersection is being addressed is part of the downtown traffic, that kind of thing. The crosswalk where it is to get across from CVS over to Boundless Bean is non-existent. And part of the whole thing would be to change that crosswalk into a safer position. That's part of the complete streets redesign.
Oh,
The
so it's going all the
sidewalks-
way up. So it's going to be all the way up to
it-
CVS Beta Bean? 'Cause
I
it
don't
didn't-
know the full extension, but I think it will go all the way up to the bank area. You'd have to
I
ask the
didn't-
town,
Yeah.
but I think it goes up that far and it goes to the east on Plymouth Street some distance. So that's what I know. I
Mhm.
know I've talked with the engineer. They're trying to figure out what will all be involved with the amount of money that the town received for that grant. And that may be in flux, but I do know there's some crosswalk safety issues that needs correcting in that area, as well as some of the sidewalks are in really bad shape.
Okay.
So that's what I can tell you.
Yeah, that's all I had for right now. I was just wondering who's going to be responsible for taking care of it with the town that has no money.
Well,
Thank you.
I hear you. Thank you again. Anything else from the public? I think there's no one else. I don't see anybody. Next meeting is June 24th. Let's hope that we can get a quorum for going to have a hybrid meeting. I think we really need to see each other face to face for sure. And if nothing else is brought up, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Josh, roll call.
Carlton,
Yes.
Maureen,
Yes.
Bill, Bill?
Yes.
Pat, you're on mute. Lori,
Yes.
thank you. The motion was approved. The meeting adjourned.
I was
Thank you
saying
so
yes,
much.
I
Thanks.
couldn't unmute, but I said yes.
Okay,
Take
thank you,
care.
Pat.
Bye.
Have a good night, everybody.